So my goal is to break down everything you need to know about trimming your locks in 10 minutes or less. Let's go. Peace family, it's Jocelyn Renee, your digital loctician, and I am so excited and grateful for your presence. Please do not judge my hair right now. I am about to go shampoo my hair as soon as the video is done. However, this topic has been so requested, I knew that I needed to get it out immediately, and that is how to trim your locks at home. I want to break down some of the beliefs around trimming, the fears, the reasons to cut, and also just how to do it. All right, let's get into it. So when it comes to trimming locks, there are many different beliefs around locks. Some people believe if you have locks, you should never trim them, while others have the belief that it's just hair and you can kind of cut it, trim it, do what you need as you see fit. Now, the first belief around it never being cut is more of a religious or spiritual belief when it comes to locks. And this is not to say if you just believe that it's hair, that you don't have a spiritual connection with your hair. It's just that you're more open to the possibilities and versatilities with cutting and trimming your locks. Now, if you believe that trimming is okay, you may also have some fears around that. You might wonder, if I cut it, will my ends unravel and keep unraveling? Because you remember the beginning stages where your hair just kept coming out, and it was having a hard time locking. If you cut your ends, are you going to open yourself up to those same things? You may also wonder, if you cut your locks or trim your locks, will they reseal? Will you get that roundness back to the ends of your locks? You may also worry about trimming your locks and whether or not you're going to enjoy it so much that you keep trimming until you're over here on Team Natural. All of these are very valid fears when it comes to trimming your locks. Now, along the lines of fears, or rather beliefs, people may ask, or you may wonder, if you're not yet 7 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years in the game, why would somebody even want to trim their locks? Like, I started my locks because I want my hair to be long and flourish. And I too was like you. Now I'm in year 7, and reasons why you cut locks. First one, they're too long. Probably the most obvious reason, but last week, first time ever, my hair got trapped in a car door as I was getting out, and that was the worst feeling I can describe with my hair, because I'm also tender-headed. So locks get long, all right? You just keep on growing, okay? They get long, and you may find that they're getting trapped in things, you're rolling over them, your spouse or your friend is rolling over them, they're getting caught on your clothes as you're trying to get dressed. Like, it just starts to get in the way. Or you may want to cut your locks because they are too heavy. Once upon a time, I definitely was telling people, like, locks should not be heavy. If they're heavy, it's a problem. Like, you probably have buildup. I was wrong. I was so wrong, okay? Locks get heavy. When you have had your locks for years, nearly a decade, you now have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of hair strands within your locks, and your neck can only support but so much, all right? So you might experience neck pain, shoulder pain. You might just want to cut your locks, maybe just to give your neck some relief. You may also want to cut your locks because you have trapped buildup. I'm going to say you may, all right, because over here we're talking holistic. You may have been using problematic products, or you may not have been brushing your locks, or you may not have been detoxing or mindful of the types of buildup that you can actually get in your locks. And your hair, the ends of your hair specifically, the first part of your locks, now has buildup that is calcified, and no matter how much you detox, it's not coming out. The only solution is to trim. So that is definitely a reason to cut your locks. Or could be a reason, because you don't have to do it, but it could be a reason to cut your locks. You may also have various lengths in your hair. You see my locks some are short because I cut this one, and then the ones in the front are really short because I cut bangs. Never do that. But if you have various lengths and you want your locks to not necessarily be all one length, because don't do that, but you want the layers to layer in a way that is more, how we should say, more cohesive. If that is the desire, you may need to trim your locks. Now, you may also just want to shape with your locks. If you want to cut your locks into a bob or get funky with it and cut it into a mullet, you will need to trim and cut your locks, all right? So reasons that you may want to cut your locks: they're too long, they're too heavy, you got some buildup that's trapped in there, your locks are all different lengths, or maybe you just desire a shape. Whatever the reason may be, and if you have other reasons, definitely leave those in the comment section, because you might inspire somebody else why they want to cut their locks. But if you're ready to cut your locks, let me give you some tips and the how-tos for cutting your locks. First, if you are going to cut your locks, and rather, if you're going to trim, right? And a trim is an inch or more. If you're going to trim your locks and you don't desire a shape, you can go ahead and cut one lock at a time. Just cut each lock the same length, like the same amount. But if you desire a shape, you want a mullet, you want a bob, you want something asymmetrical, you want to get a little creative with it, please go to a professional. While cutting locks is not exactly the same as cutting loose hair, it is pretty similar, and it's much easier for somebody to cut your hair behind you than it is for you to cut it in the mirror and try to be all over the place. We already know how much our arms got to work when we're retwisting. You don't even want to know what it looks like if you're trimming, all right? So trim yourself, shape, go to a professional. Also, when it comes to trimming, do your best not to trim your locks like straight across. Like, don't do that. Do not cut your locks like that, because that will bring your fear to life. The fear that your locks will unravel and not seal, all right? They'll just be open and blunt if you do like a boop, cut across your lock, all right? Instead, you want to cut your locks on an angle. That'll help them to reseal. However, depending on your hair type and your curl pattern, your locks may not seal back up. They may just stay loose and curly. I want to be clear here though, I am in no way endorsing this new trend of like cutting and combing out the ends of your locks to get them to be curly. I think don't do that. That's a whole nother video, but I say all this to say, if you cut, there's a chance that they may not reseal. And then the last tip when it comes to trimming your locks that you have to hear me, if you have not heard anything else that I've said to you today, you have to know, do not use scissors to cut your hair, okay? Do not use scissors to cut your hair. You should be cutting your hair, your locks, with shears, okay? They are sharpened so that they are designed to cut hair. Do not grab them kitchen scissors and cut your hair, all right? Don't do it. Go to the beauty supply, grab some shears, and properly cut your hair if you're gonna do it, all right? So when it comes to your locks, if you're trimming, do one lock at a time. If you're going for a shape, go to a professional. Don't cut your locks straight across. They may or may not seal back up depending on your texture. And whatever you do, do not use scissors to cut your locks. All right. I hope this video was helpful, giving you the beliefs, fears, reasons, and the how to trim your locks. If you learned anything, definitely like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. I invite you, of course, to join the Digital Text Club if you're not already there. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, and good vibes.